Hey Walker fans, this is Jay here from the Lunchroom Syndicate at the Geek Table. Today we're going to be taking a look at another Walking Dead video, this time doing a review from episode 5, Service.
Now dig on this.
Dance off, bro.
Today I'm going to be taking a look at a few events from the episode and what to take away from that, without really going through it in any kind of specific order. One thing I want to take a look at is Michonne pulling out the sniper rifle from inside the fireplace. Does this mean we're going to have more guns hidden throughout Alexandria? I definitely think that is the case. What Negan took from Alexandria, I don't believe is going to be all the guns that they have. It's just all the guns that they have inventoried. One theory is, did Gabriel bury some in the graves that were for Maggie? I think that's a possibility. I don't know if it's a strong possibility. I don't think we're going to have an army's worth of weaponry coming back, but I do think we are going to have a few more guns sticking around Alexandria. With Negan taking the guns from Alexandria, I don't think that was something that he had planned beforehand. I think that's something he was planning on taking some of the guns, maybe even a lot of the guns, but he was planning on leaving some of them so they could still protect themselves. When Carl pulled the gun out on him, though, that was it. They couldn't be trusted to hold on to the weaponry. Negan really didn't have much of a choice after that. He had to take all the guns then. And with Carl going through and threatening Negan, it's really showing that he and Rick are not on the same page at all. I still think we are going to be getting the comic book story arc. You're going to be hearing that from both Christopher and I once you watch our prediction video for the next episode also. That episode I really think is going to be coming. It's going to be put together, I think, quite a bit differently than what they did in the comic books. But that first shot with him jumping out of the convoy, I think we're going to get something similar to that. And they've really been building up to Carl with this overreacting hothead, and he's ready to fight. So back to this with Carl and Rick on different pages right now. Rick had a few opportunities standing behind Negan. He had Lucille with him. He was holding her, walking around Alexandria with her. Had some opportunities even when they were alone, but definitely had some chances to smack him upside the back of the head with Lucille. Now, why didn't he take that? It could be for a couple reasons. One of them definitely is he knows once he does that, the rest of the group there from the Saviors is going to wipe out Alexandria. They're done for. And I think that kind of leads into why Rick is so passive through all of this. You're going to hear a completely different story. Again, we have a lot of differences of opinions, Christopher and I. This is one thing that we do disagree on. I think Rick is just playing this back, overly passive. I think he's ready for an uprising at some point, but he knows that Alexandria is not ready for that yet. He knows that if he goes in with their current state, they don't stand a chance. Himself, he is not rolling over and taking it as much as he is portraying at this point. But again, he knows Alexandria is not ready for it. He's not going to start anything at that point. He has to find and pick his time. Not everybody in Alexandria kind of agrees with Rick on how he has approached everything, and they think that Rick's already been a little too aggressive to begin with, namely Spencer. He came out and he spoke against Rick. Rick had a nice little comeback for him there. If you ever talk to me like that again, I'm gonna break your jaw. While watching it, Christopher said something a couple of times. I was noticing I was kind of expecting Rosita to do something there to Spencer, and kind of thinking maybe Rosita was going to put an end to Spencer, especially when they were out in the woods and she had that really badass moment there killing some walkers, with Spencer shouting through, drawing attention from the walkers back to Rosita and actually making her put up that fight because he's a mother dick. Not a fan of Spencer at all right now, and hoping Rosita does take him out here really soon. Want to talk a little bit about Daryl also, and not talking at all to Rick. This was something that I saw coming, and it played out very much how I thought it was going to play out during my predictions for the episode. He didn't say anything to Rick. He wasn't making eye contact with Rick. He was really down. I don't really think that's because he has become fully subservient to Negan. Now, if you keep in mind from the previous episode, What's Your Name? Daryl did not break and say Negan. He's stuck with Daryl. He's not completely broken in that sense. However, he does know if he says anything, Negan's going to attack Alexandria. He's already done that once. He stood up to Negan, and Negan killed Glenn. He's not going to take a stand against Negan by himself in that situation where he's going to put somebody else's life in danger. So I don't think it's because he's completely broken and subservient to Negan. It's because he wants to protect the lives of everybody else there in Alexandria. Of course, that's not necessarily how Rick is taking it. Rick is looking at the situation back at Daryl, thinking Daryl has gone through hell, which he has, and Rick thinks he needs to save Daryl. Daryl's not in any kind of immediate danger with the Saviors in terms of, is he going to die? Is Negan going to kill Daryl? No. We saw when Negan was pointing the gun at Daryl, Daryl didn't flinch at all to that. I think that is very telling that he's not scared of Negan, but he's scared for the lives of others at what Negan do if he stands up. Something else that puts Daryl a little separate from the rest of the group is he does think that Maggie is dead. When they showed Maggie's gravesite to Negan, they were also showing that to Daryl. I think that's going to come back and play a little bit more yet into breaking Daryl down back at Sanctuary, that he believes that he caused the life of Glenn, and because of that, he's also responsible for Maggie's death. Of course, we find out later Maggie isn't dead. We're going to see her in the next episode. Christopher's going to be giving you his thoughts on what to expect in that in our prediction video. Dwight is another interesting character that's really developing this season. We went back into last season where he started off and he was really aggressive, and then he calmed down a little bit and we started to feel a little sympathy towards him and we started to side with him a little bit. Then it changed and he went back to being a dick, and then we saw him at the beginning of this season, definitely a dick. Then we get into the bottle episode with Daryl, and throughout that we build some more sympathy. But that shows again that that's not going to last. We have Dwight is just a roller coaster back and forth on, should you feel sympathy for this character? Is he a complete asshole? I think that's going to be continuing for a little while. I still think that he is a redeemable character. He will get his moment to show that he is not completely lost in this world. But it may take a little while yet, and I don't think we're going to see him come back around until the second half of this season. So once again, I apologize. This video was all over the place. I just wanted to give you some thoughts on some different characters and how they're developing, because that's what this season has been about so far. Other than the first episode, we have had a lot of bottle episodes, stand-alone episodes, showing one community, then another community, another. That's going to continue a little bit more in the next episode. It's quite a few bottle episodes. I know a lot of you don't really like that, but it's necessary for the big payoffs to get this character and story development in. It's why we care when Glenn and Abraham die. That is it for this video. Thank you for joining us. Make sure you leave your comments down in the section below. Like, share, follow us on Twitter. Deuces.